You've tuned into The Mountain Gardener with your host, Ken Lane. Gardening, it can be challenging, but with these simple insider tips, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, let's tune into today's Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa. And welcome to this week's edition of The Mountain Gardener. Your host, Ken Lane, here every week talking about the landscapes of northern Arizona. We are into the thick of the summer planting season, and I think the pressure's off. And so you've seen some damage. So this morning I was out gardening before the show. I'm in Prescott above the high school and the Heights, Prescott Heights area. But this would apply to any of us. If you're tuned in from Sedona, Camp Verde, Cornville, to Kirkland, to Humboldt, Dewey, Prescott Valley, Chino, Paulden, all of us. June is a rough month. And so it's dry, it's windy, it's hot. You start to bump into the 90s, most of us. And so the plants can show some stress. What do you do? And stress being burned tips, a branch died, we might have broken something as we moved it around. I was out pruning up my olive tree. I've got an ornamental olive in a container. It got damaged over the winter. I didn't water it enough. Totally my bad. So I went, oh, she's ugly. I wanted this thing on the main showpiece on the patio. So I tucked him kind of behind a tree, put it on drip irrigation. I've been fertilizing, and she's starting to come out. It's looking good. So I went, ooh, if I don't trim that back and shape it, it's going to have this lopsided look. And it's like this lollipop tree. It's an olive tree. It's an dwarfed ornamental olive tree. It grows up, it's about head high. And the ball was probably 2 by 2 by 2, like a beach ball size. Well, now I cut it back this morning. Now it's more like a volleyball size. So it's a third its size, but it's even. It's shaped. It's going to grow out perfectly balanced. Whereas if I had left some tall branches, some short branches, it would have been a hodgepodge of growth. I want this thing to be a showpiece. And I think I just fertilized it. I'll tell you what in just a second. Trimmed it. And I think with this monsoonal humidity, rain that's going to happen, it's going to start growing like crazy. And that's why it started to leaf out so strongly. And so it was really looking good. I shaped it. I did that for I had a couple dead branches on my gardenia. Now this thing is like 5 years old. It's in a container out of the patio. I think I should water more next winter if it's that dry. I think I saw a little damage, but it's a nice hedge. I don't know, not knee high, but in the pot it is, I guess. But it's maybe 18 inches across, a foot tall, this beautiful, it's in bloom, that great gardenia smell. But I had a couple, just looked a little rough in a couple spots, not the whole thing. Just one branch had something happen. I probably dropped something on it. I nipped that off, picked off a few leaves, and it looks beautiful. I did that across the yard. So just kind of shaping my plants, because you're into another growing season right now. You can get a whole nother flush of growth on those aspens. You've got privacy screens. You want to get those things full, make those neighbors go away, especially the shrub kind of things, red tip photinia, silverberry, cotoneasters. Fertilize them now. You can get a whole nother set of growth. If plants have been stressed, especially if they were in the ground, they look off. You walk in the yard, you kind of, that one looks really good. This one doesn't look as good. Something's going on. That's a plant that's struggling, and that it's not the plant, it's the planting hole. There's something's going on at the root level. You got to analyze that. The best thing you can do is fertilize everything right now. I can't say that loud enough. Emphasize it enough. Now, what to fertilize with. So the thing I used in my containers, I used all-purpose plant food. So 744 all-purpose is one we make here at Watters Garden Center. It's a recipe I put together years ago. It's for our plants at our elevation, with our water and sun. It works with our soil. It's made for here. Most fertilizers are national brands. And they're made not for us. They are made for the East Coast. They call it the Great Garden Arc. From Washington, D.C., you go up to Boston, over to Chicago, and back down through like San Francisco, this great big arc through the Midwest, back over. It's all the North Country. Acidic. It's not us. So they're making foods for that. And there are different kinds of foods. And we have a mountain food. So we have more of that. So we make a food. It's cottonseed meal, bird guano, iron, sulfur. It's all this good stuff. Pelletized. So you spread it around on top of the rock, through the gardens, and then irrigation or rain will activate it. You don't have to work it in. You just put it on. And the rains are coming. They will do all the work for you. Now, in my containers, you don't really want to use granular food, especially synthetic foods, in a container because they release so fast, you can do some damage. You can burn things up. The beauty with an all natural or all organic food is they break down very slowly. And that's what this all-purpose plant food is. It just soothes, it makes everything feel better, including the worms that are in the ground, the mycorrhizal colonies, all the good stuff that's in the ground. A lot of your synthetic foods, they burn everything up. They're so hot that all your worms, it repels worms, which they're the guys that aerate all the soil for you. They allow roots to get out there and do more magic for you. So use an organic food. I would say use 744 all-purpose plant food from Watters Garden Center, because I know it works if you're tuned into this northern Arizona area. If you're tuned in, use that one. In addition, I mentioned stressed out plants. So now those things that June got to them, maybe winter, some damage was there. The top died off or something happened. The leaves are spotted. You're just seeing that one isn't quite as healthy as this one. If they look stressed, in addition to those plants, I also add humic, Humic, humic acid. It's a product. It's a granular product. It looks like coffee grounds. I mean, literally, you'd open it up, go, oh, it's coffee grounds. It's way more than coffee grounds, but so it spreads like that. So while you got your hand spreader out, spread that underneath the drip line. Don't focus all this food right at the trunk. You want out of the outer branches of these trees and shrubs. That's where all the feeder roots are. So think further out. Let it go through the rock, just around the gardens. And then right afterwards, put humic on at the same exact ratio. It looks salt and peppered when you get all done. And then pray for rain or activate it with a hose or just wait for the irrigation to come on. Whatever, just get it on there. And only a piece of those things are going to break down each time it receives water. And then over the next 3 months, it will start to release a little more food. Just encourages this new leaf growth, greens things up, allows things to start blooming again. And that's how I've treated my entire landscape, whether it's lawns, I've got thyme lawns, magnolia trees, evergreen. I even fertilized my native juniper because it got stressed out this last winter too. So I'm trying to revive, trying to heal, strengthen, get the muscle mass back on those plants. And so I did everything for my ornamental grasses, things that were stressed, not the whole yard. The whole yard get the 744 all-purpose food. The stressed out things had the humic. And so in my yard, I got 2 bags of the fertilizer, plant food, and 1 bag of the humic. And that seemed to do it. It took me, I don't know, all of 15 minutes to maybe half an hour. It didn't take very long because you're not working it in. You're just getting it on the plants. It took longer to trim and deadhead and kind of nurture, shape my front yard containers than it did to fertilize the entire yard. But it's a game changer. You get a whole other set of flowers on those roses, twice as many flowers on those autumn sages, Russian sage. You can get a whole other set of leaf growth on those big shade trees. You can increase the new growth on those junipers. It does screen things out. Now is the time to fertilize at the front of this moisture monsoon season.
Wondering why the grass is always greener on the other side? Well, it's probably because your neighbor used the all-purpose fertilizer from Watters Garden Center. Monsoon is right around the corner, and it's the perfect time to feed your plants. Watters all-purpose fertilizer is the only organic made especially for Arizona mountain soils. Don't buy a bunch of different fertilizer for your flowers, veggies, trees, or grass. This one does it all. The plants on your side will be happier, healthier, well, greener. Safe, natural, organic. Watters Garden Center in Prescott.
And you are tuned into the Mountain Gardeners, plural, because we bring Lisa Watters Lain in. She's a garden extraordinaire. She just knows a lot because she helps me run Watters Garden Center and our family business here in Prescott, Arizona. And she just answers questions all day. That's what we do. Look at phones, answer questions. Is it a concern? Is it dead? It doesn't have leaves in July. I'm going, yeah, it's dead. It's not coming back. Over and over and over. Bird gardening, drought hardy, it washed away. How do I hide my neighbor from all those kinds of questions? And so she comes in each week with this segment. Help me with answer those garden questions. What is everyone else talking about out in the community? So welcome to the studio, Lisa.
Thank you.
Lisa with a traditional way, Lisa. There's so many ways to spell names anymore.
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Oh, Lisa.
Ken's pretty simple.
Ken's pretty simple. It's just so old-fashioned. No one ever spells it any other way. They haven't named anything Kenneth for like 50 years. So,
true. You got to be about 60 to be named Ken.
I thought with the new Ken and Barbie movie out that there'd be more folks. I was hoping for more, Ken or Kenneths or Kenny, whatever. But nope, nothing. I tell the kids, I say, hey, a great name for a daughter is Kendra. A great name for a grandson is Kenneth. But they go, oh, good, Dad. That's good. So
we have Mackenzie.
We have a Kenzie. Yeah, we named our kids Mackenzie. Yeah, that's right. Instead, we have Olivia's and Emma's and Nico's and everything else.
Emily's, Olivia's.
Not complaining.
Emma's. True.
But hint.
I think that ship has sailed.
It's just Kenneth is an old-fashioned, and I know it. I'm okay. I'm an old-fashioned guy. That's fine. Okay, enough about my whining about my name and how to spell Lisa in so many ways. What kind of garden questions?
You bet. So Mark has a question. He's in Prescott. He has a very large, kind of one of those Siberian elms that's in his yard. With several shrubs underneath it. But the shrubs underneath it now have like shiny, sticky stuff all over them.
Yeah.
He wants to know, is that coming from the elm? And the elm is huge.
Yeah.
How would you treat it if it was?
Super easy. So Mark, yes, you've got a problem. That's an issue. You caught it. I love gardeners. They're out there in the yard and they go, that's not normal. What should I do? I don't know. This is called gardening. This is how you're just being aware that what's going on, there's a change. And so you've got aphid honeydew is what they call it, honeydew, which translates to aphid poo coming from the top of the tree. And as the aphids suck the life out of your elm, they spew out the honeydew and it spills on top of your shrubs underneath. And you see this shiny residue. It almost looks like it's been rained on. Or it's kind of pretty, actually. If you park your car underneath this elm, you'd have spotting all over your car. It's very irritating. So not good. It's not healthy for the tree. It's not good for your shrubs. It's not good. Bugs and bad both start with B. You should get rid of them. Now, what do you do? Okay, so the easiest one is to spray them. So take a hose and sprayer, put it on your hose end, your hose. You get enough power, about 30, 40 pounds per square inch. Shines it up about, 20, 25, 30 feet, something like that. But elm trees can get bigger than that. So you've got to decide, Mark, can I put a bug killer in a hose and just spray it up there? I would say do that no matter what. We've got some organics. We've got a spinosad soap, a neem oil product called Triple Action. Anything will kill an aphid. Whatever you do, don't search the Google machine. It's going to tell you wrong. AI will say, oh, just hose them off. You can hose them off, but they'll crawl right back up that afternoon and you haven't done anything. If you're going to take the time to spray aphids, put something organic in there to kill them. You don't want to just spray them off. You want them to fall over dead, drop to the ground and quiver and not come back. That's what you want. You might not be able to reach that far up into the trees. And some of them can get 50, 60 feet. You just can't spray that big without commercial size, pumps. Now, what do you do? So we do have a systemic drench. So it's a liquid. You mix it up in your watering can or a 5-gallon bucket, and then you pour it at the recommended rate, obviously. And then you pour it right at the base of the tree, and the plant will actually absorb this and go up through the structure of the tree, and it taints the sap. It travels, it takes a little time, travels about a foot a day. So it might take a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks to get up to the whole structure of the plant. But for the long-term health, that's how you solve that problem. So we have giant ponderosa pines. They're huge. They're mature. You can't put your arms around them. They're gigantic. And they get aphids in them, just like your elm tree. And unfortunately, I park underneath one of them, and I don't want spots underneath my brand new pickup truck. So it's rude. And so I just know it's going to happen. So I treat this pine tree every spring with this soil drench just because I know it's going to happen. So I do it as a preventative. You're going to do it as a reactive thing. So it'll take a little time to make it happen. But what you might want to do is next spring, mark my words, you want to probably do this every spring. Just drench it so that you don't get aphids as a preventative. For now, just spray it with, I would say, triple action, because it's safer for the birds, it's safer for your pets, it's safer for you to spray. It's an organic. You can spray up to the day of harvest. No matter what's underneath there, you're good. And then I would kill as many as you can, but the long-term solution, tree and shrub drench. Come talk to us with more, Mark. We can walk you through the process. Pretty easy to do. I would not wait, because aphids only get worse with the monsoon rains, because they feed off that shade, the moisture. They're just gonna get worse. So anyway,
yes,
cover all that.
I think so.
Add to it. I went too far. I didn't mean to go 5 minutes on one thing, but it's important because aphids are bad right now.
They are bad right now.
Yeah.
Definitely so. Okay. Next question is from Sandy. She lives in Granville, out in Prescott Valley. She is looking at 2 different trees and wants to know your thoughts. The autumn brilliance serviceberry,
Okay.
or the ornamental plum.
Okay.
So her question is, one better than the other for that area, easy to grow, bug disease resistant, and how fast do they grow?
Yeah, so they're both medium-sized trees. So they're not going to be like a elm tree for Mark, or a poplar or sycamore. They're going to be a click lower. They'd be more like a red maple or an aspen. They'd be that size. So they're pretty fast. I mean, they will get some serious size quick, but they don't get up to 80 feet. They only get up to shorter, 30, 35 feet. So they're shorter trees. Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't expect them to be faster. Now, which one is better? Which one do you like more? So it comes down to that. So I would say the benefit. So probably the what was it? Serviceberry, or the flowering pear? Mm-hmm. Serviceberry, flowering plum. So I would say the plum is more popular, just because it's grown commercially. It's just, if you want what's in every other neighborhood's, every other yard, go with the flowering plum. If you want something a little bit different, more native-y, drought hardy, they're both drought hardy. They're both bug proof. But if you want something a little different, serviceberry is going to be your choice. I would say the serviceberry is much more beautiful in the fall of the year. Mm-hmm. It's got this bright color, whereas your plums are just purple. They're just one color. They come out this color, they leave this color. They're both deciduous. They both bloom about the same time. They both lose their leaves about the same time. They're both equally drought hardy. Serviceberry by far has got a notice. Your neighbors will go, "Whoa, what is that? That's kind of cool. That's a neat color. Orange, reds, golds coming through on that plant." Whereas the other one's just purple. It's just going to be purple. One's got pink flowers. One's got white. I don't know. They're both kind of lighter colored. Birds like both. Mm-hmm. They both will take the wind. They'll both take the sun. That's one probably come down. This is what I find when helping customers with trees. As you're walking the tree line, and we've got hundreds of them, It's overwhelming. We'll guide you through, go look at these, and then plants start talking to you. They start connecting. There'll be an emotional response. Go with that one. So Sandy, pick the one that calls you, plant me. I want to go home with you. I love dogs or cats, or I like, just come talk to us. We'll guide you through that. Wow, 10 minutes gone like that. Lisa Watters Lain in the studio. Answer your garden questions with me here on The Mountain Gardener. Be right back.
Watters Garden companion plants for July are hibiscus, maple, verbena, and crepe myrtle.
Crepe myrtle flowers are intense watermelon pink, solar reds, and LED whites that cover this heat-loving shrub.
Plant where you enjoy its beautiful multicolored bark and sinuous branches up close.
The flowers show against forest green foliage that turns red and orange in autumn.
Growing to just head height, every yard has room for at least one, and only available for summer planting here at Watters Garden Center in Prescott.
So I started the show before Lisa came on with what I'm doing to fertilize and increase new growth, to shape things up, fertilize them, and stressed out plants, we gave them some humic. Okay, that's good. So I've done that entire thing. It's done for the summer season. I won't do that again until Halloween, until the fall season. That's the most important feeding of the entire year. Fall is you do the same thing. But for now, in addition, though, because things are blooming so much right now, I mean, some of them are just almost, they're throwing flowers off and putting new flowers on. There's just this rotation. This is the growing season. So in addition to it's kind of we're going deeper into plant foods or plant nutrients now. But here, a lesson, gardening fertilizers 301 is where we're at. In addition to my blooming plants, I'll give them a handful of super phosphate. Now, a quick lesson: nitrogen, phosphorus, potash. That first number, nitrogen, that causes green growth. So if you've got privacy screens, you want them thick and full, nitrogen. The middle number, phosphorus, forms roots and blooms. So if you want more roots, you want more blooms, you want more fruit, give it that middle number. So superphosphate is 0, 18, 0. It's completely 100% phosphate. So phosphorus. So if you want more flowers on those roses, Russian sage. On my summer blooming jasmines, on my perennial flowers, on my anything you want more flowers on. I like my autumn sages. They're so spectacular right now, and they're just getting started. It takes a lot of energy to force that kind of flower rotation on those. If you don't give it some more phosphorus, they can use up all the phosphorus in the ground, and they can be left wanting. And so they stop blooming. They're just nice green plants, but they don't flower. Well, the reason I put a flowering plant in is for the blooms. And it's offensive if you stop blooming. You're at risk of being ripped out of my yard if you don't bloom. And so I kind of cheat. I kind of coach them. I kind of guide them to bloom more. And superphosphate. Now, here's the problem. You research that online, and so many gardeners trying to make this stuff complicated. This is not hard. This is super easy. I'm putting a regular plant food on because I want a balanced food. Steak and potatoes. That's that 744 all-purpose plant food. That's the main thing I do. With my flowering things, I also give them, in addition, a handful of superphosphate. And so other gardeners tell you, you got to work it in the ground. It doesn't activate unless you dig it in. You got to pre-soak. I'm going, no, you don't have to do any of that. Just put it on the ground. It will go through the rocks. It will become available. We're looking for long-term solutions, not instantaneous fixes. Hopefully, you're consistent with this stuff. You're doing it regularly. You're not just reacting. Oh my gosh, my lilacs haven't bloomed in several years. What's going on? My butterfly bush stopped blooming completely. Oh my gosh, my Rose of Sharon didn't have any flowers or they're too small. Those are all phosphorus issues. If you can't put it on now to force flowers you have to put it on the season before. So you're trying to get things before the flowers bloom. You're putting on superphosphate. Okay. Sorry, went on my soapbox a little bit. I help so many gardeners react to their landscape. When a true gardener is coaching their plants into behaving the way they want. These are wild plants. We're just training them to be more groomed and look good in the yard. And so it takes a little bit of garden expertise to do that. And that's kind of, for those blooming things, that's a garden tip I can give you that's a game changer. So anything that's blooming now or in the fall, I put the food on, the 744 all-purpose food, and then I also put the superphosphate. It's like candy. It's like plant candy. Just give them some superphosphate. They're going, oh, that's good. Oh my God, I feel good about that. They start rooting out more and they start blooming more. Truly a game changer. Most folks don't know what superphosphate is. The other one that's like that, you organic gardeners love bone meal. 0, 10, 0. So bone meal is good. It's ground up chicken bones, basically. The problem with bone is if you want it to activate like now, available to the plant now, it's a bone. It just takes a while it takes a long time for it to break down. You literally have to put bone meal on now to be available for next year, whereas superphosphate is available now. As soon as water hits it, a little phosphorus is released. When you irrigate, a little bit more. When you get rain, a little bit more. And so it just becomes available to the plant much faster, especially things in the yard, the big plants that bloom, the great big smoke bushes, you've got great big century plants or agaves. You want more red yuccas coming out. Fertilize those things with superphosphate and you'll get even more flower. Bone meal is more for, I'm planting a tomato, put some bone underneath it, the roots go through it, pick it up. So you're doing it in the ground or a season ahead. Okay, I went way too deep on this file. Sorry about that, folks. Usually we don't go that deep on something boring like fertilizers. We got more though. Hold on. Be right back.
Watters Garden companion plants for July are hibiscus, purple verbena, crepe myrtle, and sensation maples.
Sensation maples grow fast. The spring leaves erupt with soft reds that quickly mature to a refreshing green for summer-long shade.
Autumn, it unleashes a brilliant display of red leaves.
Where this maple really shines is in the areas with challenging garden soils.
The picture-perfect tree to line driveways or shade a patio.
You'll only find Sensation maples here at Watters Garden Center in Prescott.
And we have back in the studio, Lisa Watters Lain comes and just shares her garden thoughts, a different perspective. Years ago, I didn't want to go one whole hour with just me diatribe going on and on, monotone, talking about gardening. Kind of boring. And that's what most radio shows are. Not that most radio shows are boring. This one is better. It's more infotainment, information, entertaining. We just want to be more than just Latin names and so to home remedies. I tried that. Oh, anyway, I won't go down that path.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerry Baker.
I know. Anyway, Lisa coming into the studio, sharing garden thoughts. Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Good to be here. So I brought in some really pretty perennials.
You did. It smells amazing.
I thought they were gorgeous. You walk in the lower house, the perennial house, and it's just, this is when the perennials shine. The echinaceas, the rudbeckias, the echinacea, everything just is happy and blooming so nicely this time of year with perennials. So encourage people to come down and look at them.
Yeah.
But the first one I wanted to show you, so Salvia greggii, every yard should have a Salvia greggii.
Autumn sage,
Autumn sage, animal resistant, bloom all summer. Hummingbirds love them.
Yeah.
And they come in a variety of colors, but being growers, they're always trying to come out with new colors. So this is a new one for this year. And this one I think is called Sunrise. Ignition Sunrise.
Looks like a sunrise. Yeah.
And it's really pretty because it has that pink tone, but it also has like a goldy yellow with it as well. So you kind of get a variegated flower off of that. So it's just really pretty, something different for out in the yard.
You know, this kind of reminds me of the lipstick. They call that
Hot Lips.
Hot Lips autumn sage. It's a white flower, and it looks like fairies have drawn red lipstick on each and every single flower. This one's inverted, so now it's got white edging on every flower, but then the base of it is like this. It's not red, it's not pink, it's like a Hawaiian sunset.
Sunrise.
Sunrise, either one. I don't know. If you're a morning person, it's a sunrise. If you're an evening person, it's a sunset. But it's beautiful, two-toned. And then hummingbirds, they love. This is one of their favorite. If you want pollinators, butterflies, hummingbirds in the yard, this plant, not just this color. They like all colors. But this one, it smells good. Just smells sagey just in here.
Just a nice
This is where it
plant.
pays to tune into the video version of this podcast.
So you can see.
it. But for those folks driving across town and listening to this or out in the yard gardening while you're listening to the podcast, let's describe this to you. It's a knee high by knee wide, bright sun. It grows. It starts blooming in May, and it blooms until past October, past Halloween into November. It's its best colors are in autumn. That's the name autumn sage. But javelina, deer, rabbits, they will not bother this plant.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show it because it was a new color.
Cool.
So the next one is Rebecca. This one's Amarillo Gold. It has huge blossoms on it.
It's almost as big as my hand.
Pretty,
that's crazy.
Bright yellow color. Boy, it just stands out. When I walked into our house, I was like, oh my gosh.
That's cool.
It like glows. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to show you that. That Denver Daisies, which is the one yellow that has a little bit of brown in it as well. Both looking fabulous right now at the store. So you definitely got to check those out.
Rudbeckia. Amarillo Gold. Is it Amarillo or Amarilla?
Amarillo.
Gold. Yeah, I say, unless you're from Amarillo, then it might not. Next stop, Amarillo.
The echinaceas or cone flowers are looking fabulous right now as well. This one's kind of an orange one. It's called Yellow Ombre. Looks more orange to me.
There we go.
But we've got reds, we've got purples, we've got yellows, we've got oranges, you name it. We've got it in the echinaceas, and just a great little wildflower for here.
Look at those seed heads. They're beautiful. I mean, just the birds are going to go crazy. If you want to attract birds in your yard, this is the one.
So definitely got to check that out. So I just want to bring a few examples of the great perennials that we have going on right now.
And these are all sun lovers. They would be companion plants out in the yard, same kind of garden, same space, same water, same. Just they're going to love that wind, sun, the brutal parts of your flower gardens or wildflower gardens. These are the ones.
Right, definitely. So anyways, want to show those off, but I want to talk about succulents and sedums because they are also great plants, especially for those rock gardens, those sunny spots that just nothing else really wants to grow. You throw stuff in there and it goes, no, too hot.
Yeah, that's right.
But your succulents, your sedums are perfect for those locations. The other great thing about a lot of them is they are evergreen, and most people don't think about that. So even in the wintertime, if you're growing in a pot or the ground, you got some foliage there, some color there going on even in the wintertime. The one thing you do have to watch with your succulents and sedums is the critters, because they're holding so much moisture in their leaves that sometimes when they're really thirsty, the bunnies will eat the javelina because they're looking for moisture.
Pack rats can drag off some. Yeah.
Right. So that is something to take in consideration. But most of these grow really nicely in pots as well. Yeah. So
if you have that, a little trick, what I tell folks is if you know you have rabbits, you have pack rats, you have deer, whatever animals, and that you plant something new in the yard, they're going to notice because this is their living room. Right. They're instantaneous. Within that evening, they're going to go, hey, look, they put something out there for us to look at. Let's go admire that. Hey, family, we're going this way. If you see that, just get a repellent. They make a liquid repellent. Like night one, don't wait for damage. Do it before, so when they come up, they go, their stuff always smells like this. Let's go to the neighbor's yard and eat their stuff. Let's go over here. Just preventatively.
I agree.
You should have a repellent.
Just start with it.
That's right.
That's why I always tell people just start with it. So this one is turquoise tails. Sorry.
It does look like a tail.
It does.
Cool.
Yeah. kind of a sagey green color. Very, very pretty. It's great for the edge of pots or on a rock wall if you want it to drape over. It kind of has a draping habit to it. Does it smell?
No,
Oh,
it doesn't smell. It's good. I broke off. I
you're
was wondering if
eating it?
tasted. Doesn't even have a
you're
taste.
not even supposed to eat it.
I don't know. I just thought it tasted. If it has a bad taste, I don't know.
If it keels over,
Sometimes
it's not my
animals have
fault.
sometimes you'll touch something to your tongue goes numb, and you're going, oh, yeah, plants won't like that one very much. Oh, that's terrible.
But this one, there's another one called Angelina, which has more of a yellowy, kind of same texture, but yellowy gold. Just a terrific little plant. Even in the wintertime, they just keep their color to them. I love putting them on edges of pots or rock walls to kind of drape over. Very, very pretty.
I love these, all those that you mentioned, those low growing ground covery types.
Mm-hmm.
In rock gardens is where they get their most fame.
Mm-hmm.
But I find as a designer, the best place to look for them in a Southwest kind of a look is at the edge of pots or raised beds where they trail over the edge of the pot or that raised garden, and they start trailing down, and they'll literally have 2 to 3 foot tendrils that just flow over. They're just quite striking. Yes, they get a bloom. Yeah, bloom for a day. It's like cactus bloom. You're going for this great ground covery kind of foliage.
Right. The other one I love this one. This is a two-tone or kind of variegated sedum. So this is Sun Sparkler Lime Twister. And it has a really cool. So it has kind of there again, kind of lower, spreads out, has a nice lobed variegated leaf to it, kind of a green and a cream with a little bit of yellow or lime, I guess, in there.
Yeah.
So just a really nice one. There again, pots, contain ground, whatever you got, it would be beautiful in.
This is as tall as it gets. So it's up about 4 to 6 inches tall, and it's got to be 8 to 10 inches wide, maybe a foot. And then it's just going to keep spreading or spreading out or mounding out or lobing out into the gardens, and you just get this great color. I do notice these varieties many times your little tiny birds use them real early in the springtime as a water source or nutrients. So they'll keep them picked clean of insects, and they'll harvest some of the foliage. It's great. But sedums, there's a whole variety of them that are perennial. They come back year after year. They're great plants. For the mountains of Arizona. Thank you, Lisa. We'll be right back after this.
Watters Garden companion plants for July are hibiscus, maple, crepe myrtle, and purple verbena.
Purple verbena is mountain famous for gorgeous summer-long flowers held over compact green foliage.
This purple bloomer loves bright gardens, summer heat, and grows best in poor soils with less water.
Go ahead and abuse this bloomer. You can't kill it.
The perfect native perennial for easy summer long flowers.
You'll only find the toughest verbena here at Watters Garden Center, 1815 Iron Springs Road in Prescott.
So I wrote an article that might be of interest to some of you. You'll have to go download it or track it on our website, but it's Simple Steps to Healing Drought-Sick Gardens. So if your plants are looking stressed, water over, under, they're just kind of off, take a look at that. It's last week's garden column. If you missed it, you can go to wattersgardencenter.com. There's blog at the top. Blog means just articles. Here you go. Why they call it blog? Why is that? I actually don't know. I call it garden column. But there's photos, descriptions on how to help drought-sick plants. Take a look at that. So if you go to wattersgardencenter.com and just go to blog at the top, it'll be the very first article right there. Growing 5 different garden lavenders. That's the next one. 10 flower trends you'll see everywhere this year. I describe the different kinds of gardeners there are as far as flowers go. Growing crepe myrtles, which they're all in bloom right now. They're spectacular butterfly friendly herbs for the garden. 7 flowers sure to help Prescott butterflies. So that's the garden columns. It's there to be a help. It's not a sales pitch. I'm not big into selling stuff over the airwaves or in my garden columns. I'm there to be helpful, come alongside neighbors. The philosophy is, my name's Ken. We're just neighbors talking over the fence. this is working in my backyard. It'll probably work over in your backyard too. Or I'm seeing this. You might want to look for that. There's bugs out. Or there's animals. Maybe you should. Here's some tips for that. That's my garden voice, or what I'm trying to get across for you. So hopefully my goal is every show you can take 3 things that will be used in the garden like this week that will make a difference like right now. That is the goal of everything that we do. The garden center here, they don't even try to sell you stuff. We try to inspire, show things off. That's why it feels like a botanical garden. We don't want to, it's not just stuff lined up in rows and beds. It's made to these are companion plants. They go together. Don't they look good? Let's help you design that. We are there to help like a pharmacist. You got sick plants. Here, you want this. Here's the best antacid. This is the one that's going to work. This is the bug we're seeing. This is how you fertilize things. That's the goal. I don't need to sell things. We've been doing this 63 years. The last thing we need to do is start desperately selling stuff, pitching our products. I think the neighborhoods, they talk about us enough. Your neighbors have probably already said, oh yeah, go over to Watters. They know their stuff. And that's the goal. And so hopefully you can get a few tidbits, but look at that one that's trending very heavy online. So simple steps to heal drought sick gardens. Part of it is get the right plant in the right place and you'll have less problems. And so a couple that you might want to take a look at right now. So we've had one that I love to use because it's so easy to grow is sumac. And there's a couple different varieties. There's 3 or 4. There's grow low sumac. It's a ground cover. There's staghorn sumac, which is gigantic. I mean, it's a big boy. It gets up palm tree size. So 10, 12, 15 feet tall. And I use it like a palm tree because palms, they don't grow up here, at least in Prescott. They'll grow down in the lower elevation. You folks over in Camp Verde, Cottonwood, maybe Sedona, really, they start really thriving down as you drop down in the deserts. That's where they thrive. Up here, we need to use things like sumac. So staghorn, they call it staghorn because if you look at the bark, it looks like that velvet that's on a stag's horn. That's what it looks like. It's very neat. But it's got this nice ferny, frilly, it's got a pretty seed head to it. It's very nice. Bright oranges in the fall. It's just a beautiful plant. But once it gets established, I mean, you don't have to water that thing. It goes by itself. No, just get it rooted. So plant it, root it for a year, leave it alone. If you bother it too much, it will die. So just let it go. That's how you use sumacs. There's one that I really like. It's called Tiger Eye sumac. It's got a gold foliage to it, like a tiger's eye. That's the name. But the reason I like that one is shorter. It's only hip high. So it's not as aggressive. And you get it established, it goes by itself, doesn't need any care. But I like it because it's got gold to it. And so many of the rock and the ground covers that we use are so dark that you need you put more green in there, more red, it just disappears. That plant disappears. So I like using contrasting colors. So frequently I'll use gold if I see a dark rock or lots of ground covery kind of stuff, and it just pops. But it will take that sun, the wind, just the abuse. Sumac. Anytime you see the word sumac, you know you got a good plant for the mountains of Arizona. Another one that for privacy screens, there's 2 I really like for privacy. If you got a big evergreen shrub, I want it to be solid. I don't want to see anything behind this. I want to sit here by myself in my own world. I don't want to see any world go by. I just want thick plants. There's 2 that I use often. One's called silverberry, like the color silver and gold, silverberry. I use it often. Again, it's got a bright colored foliage. So it's got gold. It's got blue foliage with a gold tinge. It's variegated. Gets up easily taller than you can reach. So 7-8 foot tall and wider than that. Solid, thick green. But the reason I like it is it's related to our native silverberry, but it's brighter, it's prettier, I think. So it's like that, but only better because it's a blonde instead of a blue-haired. So our native Elaeagnus or silverberry is blue. This one is gold. And so now I can use it the same way. Dark fences, dark ground covers, it just pops, it just shines. But it's gold that will take that bright sun that we have. So it's really quite striking, a very thick, good ground cover. You can prune on it quite well, just gets thicker. The other one that's a companion to that, I often use cotoneaster, or cotton Easter is how people spell it or say it. It's really cotoneaster is how you say it. There's a lot of native cotoneasters here, like the sumacs. There's some native sumacs. So, native, they grow wild all by themselves. If you transplant one in your yard and get it going, it'll do the same. So the one that I like that's big, we probably have, 6 or 8 varieties of cotoneaster out in the yard right now, from ground covers to mid-size to hedges. The one I like the most for privacy specifically, that's a companion to the silverberry, they call it red clusterberry cotoneaster. This is a big boy. Again, it's 7, 8 feet tall, equally as wide. But the reason I like it, it's got a nice blue-green foliage. Animals do not bother it. It doesn't get bugs. There's no worries with this thing. It's just super low maintenance. And once you get it established, you can cut it off of care. It just goes by itself. And the reason they call it red clusterberry is it gets like a starburst of white flowers in the spring, and each one of those flowers on the end of that stem is going to turn into a berry. This red clusterberry cotoneaster. It's quite striking. And those red berries, they'll last on that. They'll persist on that plant right through winter. The birds will eventually eat it, but they just look good year round. I mean, they're much hardier than hollies. The number one seller for that is red-tipped photinia. By far, number one. I put my kids through college, all 4 of them, selling that one plant. But I would never have that in my own yard. I have it for you because you're seeing it around, but every critter will eat it, deer and rabbits. It gets mildew, it gets bugs. It does grow fast. I mean, you get a lot of plant for the money. That's great. For now, I'm thinking about long-term problems and water use and how much I got to trim the doggone thing. I don't want a maintenance burden. I want easy, low care. That's what I like. So cotoneasters, sumacs, silverberries, way easier. And yet they don't look like cactus. Cactus, they want to bite you. You get too close to them, they just want to poke you and do stuff. Agaves, they're spectacular blooming right now. But they get this pokey thing. So you don't put them where the grandkids are. They're going to bite one of them. So there's places for certain things. If you ever get in trouble, you want low maintenance, come take a picture of that spot. We're looking at companion plants. Go, yeah, here, this will go with that. It'll be great. It'll be low care. Come see us. Be right back.
Wondering why the grass is always greener on the other side? Well, it's probably because your neighbor used the all-purpose fertilizer from Watters Garden Center. Monsoon is right around the corner, and it's the perfect time to feed your plants. Watters all-purpose fertilizer is the only organic made especially for Arizona mountain soils. Don't buy a bunch of different fertilizer for your flowers, veggies, trees, or grass. This one does it all. The plants on your side will be happier, healthier, greener. Safe, natural, organic. Watters Garden Center in Prescott.
Now, I know all you techno folks have got this, but I was looking up, where did blog come from? B-L-O-G. It came from in 1997. I guess I've been writing longer than blogs have been around. It was off of Weblog, coined after 1980 by John Barger, just to describe logging things on the web, on the internet. So basically maintaining links, logs, and I've been writing garden columns. So we just said, I'm supposed to call that a blog. Really, a garden column comes from the word kolma from Greek, which means column of, it's a structure, but column of words, more of a curated, very specific, usually by one author instead of multiples, which is blogs. But I'm the author. And so it's just kind of the difference between a garden column and a blog. There you go. You got it. A column of words specific to gardening instead of gossip. or sports. So anyway, that's my hobby's gardening. So I share that. Just a little trivia on what blog came from, because I wanted to know pretty much what you get on this show. Excuse me, top of mind. You just get my top of mind of what I'm doing. I was gardening this morning, cleaning my plants up, fertilizing. That's the show. So whatever I'm doing, that's what you get. An invite if you'd like. So mark your calendar, July 24th. We're going to try something new. The team got together this morning and said, hey, boss, we need to do a sip and shop. And after hours, just bring your girlfriends, come stag, just come after hours, bring the kids, bring the wife, bring it date night or date afternoon before dinner from 4 to 7. We're going to have I'm going to pull out my recipes of sangria. We'll have one that's virgin, one that's standard. We'll have some fancy water. I'll put together probably a Chardonnay with a basil something fruit mix. I kind of like that one this summer, but we're going to gear up the shopping carts, get some fancy glasses, probably have some cheese to go with it, and have some fancy summer sangria mixes. It'll be fun, something different, unusual. I hope the recipe turns out. I think it will be. We usually have guests over and they go, this is good stuff. Wow. I'll probably get it all going the night before, just as time to simmer and stew. There's some insider things that we do. Now, maybe I'll even share the recipe. I don't know. I wasn't thinking that sophisticated, but September 24, it'll be from 4 to 6. We're going to try to have some constellation monsteras, some very exotic plants, some new plants you just can't get any other places. We're trying to secure down some pitcher plants, carnivorous plants. We'll have some of those. We'll put just some special things. We'll have a flower for, if it's a date night, we'll have a flower for everyone. There we go. He gets one, she gets one, because I'm a flower gardener and I just love flowers. And so we'll get some donations from growers or something. I don't know, a few flats or something. When we run out, we're out. So 4 to 6, come in after work. It's a Wednesday, I believe, the 24th. When is that? Let me look at that real quick. So I can't do that real quick while I'm on the microphone. I wish I was that good to do that kind of multitasking. Just look up July 24. We will be taking donations for Grapes for Good. It's a fundraiser we have in September, but it's going to the schools, basically. If you wanted to come, donate whatever you think it's worth to the kids, and the schools will be collecting money for that. But September 24th, sip and shop at Watters Garden Center.
Watters Garden companion plants for July are hibiscus, maple, crepe myrtle, and purple verbena.
Purple verbena is mountain famous for gorgeous summer-long flowers held over compact green foliage.
This purple bloomer loves bright gardens, summer heat, and grows best in poor soils with less water.
Go ahead and abuse this bloomer. You can't kill it.
The perfect native perennial for easy summer long flowers.
You'll only find the toughest verbena here at Watters Garden Center, 1815 Iron Springs Road in Prescott.
For a more fruitful garden, increased success in the landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Mountain Gardener podcast. Subscribe through your favorite podcast streamer or visit wattersgardencenter.com. Better yet, visit me directly right here at Watters Garden Center. Thanks for tuning in.